All right, I'm curious, so I know you guys want to know, is it possible this 3-inch ported subwoofer from the 1980s is as powerful as a 12-inch sub? Let's find out.
Damn, shit bump.
This is the first eBay seller I've ever received a package from that used evidence tape. What? And here we have the amazing TEI Electronics Extra Bass Woofer and matching booster model 49-230. The booster gives you up to 25 watts of power from 20 hertz to 180 hertz, signal to noise ratio of 72 dB, and yes, a 3-inch ported woofer inside a plastic enclosure. We've got to find out more about this. Big thanks to the Wayback Machine over at archive.org. We were able to find this DAC Summer 1983 catalog, and believe it or not, yes, the TEI Electronics Extra Bass Woofer with included booster was actually in there at the low price of $79. And wow, the rich bass that this thing generated was unbelievable. I mean, this thing belted out a clean full bass like a 12-inch speaker. Say it ain't so. Those who remember the DAC catalog will also remember the way the articles were written were very over-bloated in a lot of cases. In other words, making products sound much better than they really were. But we're going to take a closer look at this bass woofer with matching booster to find out what it's all about. So let's spin it around, show you the box, and then we'll get right inside and see what's included. And yes, this over 40-year-old electronics item was brand new. Pretty useful, I'd say, is the way they put the instructions and the hookup guide here on the flaps of the box. That way you don't have to worry about losing a manual. Showed you everything about how to hook it up and how to give you some extra bass. Also includes the wiring harness that's required. And here is that extra bass booster. Yes, sir. We've got a volume knob. We got some other switches there. And also includes some mounting gears. You can mount it underneath your dash. Of course, mounting screws as well. And here is that fat harness that goes with the unit. Now, it doesn't have any RCA inputs. It is high-level input only. And here is the extra bass woofer. You can see this small little box will fit, designed to fit underneath your dash, or as the manual shows, designed to fit in the rear deck of your car between your other 6x9s or whatever kind of speakers you have back there. You can see the port there on the front left. Extra bass letting you know that you're ready for some boom boom. TEI Electronics Incorporated, model 49-250, and there's that massive 3-inch woofer. And here's the back. You can see 17 watts nominal, 25 watts maximum. Has the push terminals as well for hooking up your speakers. We are going to open the box up later and take a closer look, but for now, let's look at that booster. It is half den in size. It does have a power button here on the left, as well as an on LED just to the right of that. Then we have 4 different buttons for 80, 120, 150, or 180 hertz. That is the low pass for the quote-unquote extra bass woofer. And we have a volume knob on the right, minimum to maximum. Of course, you can turn it all the way. Not really. It's too bad they didn't include any kind of functional spectrum display or graphic EQ display. That would have been cool. Here on the top, gives you the model number, tells you the maximum output's 25 watts. And here on the back, you can see this large pinout. This is for that included harness. And we can also see it's made in Japan, designed for 12 to 15 volts, 3 amps of current. And here are the two items, the booster and the extra bass woofer, together and ready to be tested out and shown you guys if this really works. Again, the booster is high-level input only. It does not have RCA jacks. This is not abnormal for it being from back in the early 80s because RCAs were not prevalent in aftermarket head units at the time. And yeah, the box itself to me is just super cool, but here are all the items that are included with your purchase of the extra bass woofer. Now let's get it hooked up and try some demos with some music. Here we have the world's best speakers, along with the world's most impressive subwoofer or extra woofer system with the extra bass booster here, of course. Let's fire it up and see if we can handle the bass. First off, we're going to start with no bass and then we're going to boost it up. I'm not sure we can handle Space Age Hustle, but we're going to try. Here we go. Sorry about that. I can't even hold my phone steady. It's shaking it so much. I'm not sure if you can see it, but we have been basing it so hard that we have lost some of the surround there on the 3-inch massive subwoofer. What do you say we take this box apart and see what this thing looks like inside? I agree. Let's do it. Here we have the extra bass woofer torn apart. You can see the screws there, see the front panel. You can see the 3-inch massive subwoofer with huge magnet structure, as well as the foam surround, which has deteriorated after 40 years of sitting in a box somewhere. And we have blown part of it off thanks to Space Age Hustle. Thanks so much, YouTube, for your bass music that blew up this iconic bass speaker from the past. At least we had a few minutes to experience the best 3-inch subwoofer on the market, but let's give it a few moments of silence. All right, so back to the lecture at hand. We can see a 12-ounce can of soda compared to this massive woofer system. And we also did a test to find out what the tuning frequency of this box was, 140 hertz. That's right, get your bass on. And you know I could not resist hooking up this booster to the amp dyno. It was not easy. Again, this was a high-level input only, so we had to use the speaker-level inputs from that head unit, rated 25-watt max at 4 ohms. So we're going to find out here how much true power it does. And again, it just says 25 watts, 13.8 volts. Doesn't give us an RMS number. Let's find out. Running it certified, that's up to 1% distortion. It kind of stopped at 5, but it does jump up a little bit here at the end to, I think, around 8. Yep, 8 watts at 13.73. Let's try it uncertified up to the clipping point, see if it'll climb up a little cleaner, because we're hitting that 1% distortion. Yeah, there you go. 12 watts, 13.7. I guess that's about what we expect when they say 25 watts max, but you never know with those max numbers what they really mean for the true power output. Dynamically here at 4 ohms, it sends a pulse tone. Let's see, we get a little bit more power. We get 13 watts. Starting to burn up the dyno here. See the temperature heating up. And I see things shaking here. It's because I'm readjusting the screen. But let's go ahead and try it at 2 ohms. I know this little booster is not rated at 2 ohms, but we're going to try it anyway, just a dynamic test. That shouldn't hurt anything. So here we go. Let's run the dynamic burst test and see what we get. Ooh, we get a whole watt more. 14 watts, 2 ohms, 13.65. Dyno temperature heating up to 80 degrees. Next up, we need to know what's inside, or watts inside, I should say, this booster. So let's take off the 4 screws on the front, as well as pull off that volume knob. We can pull the faceplate off. And on the back, there are 6 screws, 4 at either end and then 2 in the center. And we can slide the top off, and let's take a closer look at the inside. As expected, there's not a whole lot here, just some switches there on the front, potentiometer on the right. And you can see the different components here that goes together, including the faceplate, the knob, the screws that hold it together, as well as the assembly frame. But we're going to take off this little clamp here and find out what kind of transistors were used. And yeah, these are NEC, made in Japan. These are the C1182H and C1181H. These are head unit style transistors, and there's 2 of them. But again, you saw the power output that we got using the amp dyno. All right, there we have the video of the TEI Electronics Extra Bass Woofer with included matching booster. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you smash thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Till next time, it's Big D. You know where I'm at. I'm out of here.